the like and subscribe button. Today we're going to be talking about the college football bowl games this week. It's all going to end this week except for the championship games. This will probably be the last college football, the last one I just do in college football bowl games. So let's get it started. We're going to start with the Independence Bowl, Temple versus Duke today at 1:30. Temple's supposed to win, but I think it's going to be a very close game. And I think just the way that Duke has been playing, I think Duke can pull it out in the end. I'm going to bet on Duke. Duke is going to win this close game. Okay. The next game is Miami versus Wisconsin, the Pinstripe Bowl. I think Wisconsin had a year that was not as good as they expected. They expected a fantastic year where they might have even gone to the national championship. Instead, Northwestern won that side. That was terrible. But Wisconsin this was the same matchup as last year. Miami and Wisconsin played last year. Miami also had a season that was not as good. They were close to making the championship last game, so was Wisconsin. So they're both pretty disappointed in their seasons. They're hoping for a better one next year. I think Wisconsin's going to win this one close because they have Jonathan Taylor, an amazing running back. Then the last one for today is Baylor versus Vandy. Vandy has had a season unbelievable. So is Baylor. They were both teams that were not supposed to be any good at the beginning of the season. They both got bowl eligible. Good for both of them. Vandy has looked good in the season. They almost beat Notre Dame, the playoff team. I think they can pull this one out in the end. Vandy's going to win it close. Now on to Friday's games. Purdue versus Auburn. This one's going to be a fantastic matchup because Auburn had a down season and Purdue had one of the best wins of their season against Ohio State, a team that might have made the playoffs if that hadn't happened to them. Purdue is a good football team. They're the best 6-6 team in the nation, I think. They should have won a lot of their close games, but Auburn also had a down season. They didn't expect to be that good. They expected to be better than they were. So I think Purdue is going to be able to pull this out. I think it depends if Jarrett Stidham decides to play or not, but I think even if Jarrett Stidham decides to play, I think Purdue can win this close. Now, West Virginia versus Syracuse, the Camping World Bowl. This is going to be a really close one because both teams had impeccable seasons, amazing seasons. West Virginia almost made it to the playoffs. It wasn't for a few off games. They could have made it all the way. But instead, they lost to Iowa State and then Oklahoma, another team. They're very good. Will Grier, I think, is the best quarterback in college football right now. Syracuse doesn't have that great of a quarterback, but they have been amazing at running the football. I think West Virginia is going to pull it out because of Will Grier. They don't have a good defense, though, so I think Syracuse is going to be able to run all over them. The next game is Iowa State versus Washington State. Now, both teams had amazing records in seasons compared to what they were expected. Iowa State was barely bowl eligible last year. Washington State was in the playoff conversation until the last week of the regular season. Now, fortunately, Washington State didn't get to go to the Pac-12 championship game, and Washington won. We all know what happened there. But I think Washington State is a better team than Iowa State. I think it's going to be a high-scoring matchup between the two because both conferences don't play any defense. But I think Washington State is going to pull it out in the end. Now we're going to get into Saturday, where the best bowl games start to happen. We're going to get to watch Florida versus Michigan, which I would have rather Florida versus UCF, but that was just my personal opinion. But Florida versus Michigan, great bowl matchup. Michigan has never won against the Gators in their entire existence, but Michigan had a fantastic season this year. So did Florida. Both teams didn't expect to have that good of a season, but unfortunately Michigan lost to Ohio State and Notre Dame, two teams that were fantastic this year, so kudos to them. Florida lost to Georgia, Kentucky. That was terrible. And then they lost to Missouri. That was also sad. But I think Michigan's a very good football team. They run the ball, and their defense is absolutely impeccable. I don't think you can score a lot of points against them. Florida's offense is very good. I think Michigan's going to win this one close, but I think it's going to be a very good bowl game. I don't think you should miss this one. Now the next is the Belk Bowl, South Carolina versus Virginia. Now both teams had okay seasons. They didn't have fantastic. Virginia should have won the ACC East instead of, what was it? Pitt. Pitt's terrible. But Virginia, it's not very good. South Carolina also not very good. I can't see this game to be a high scoring. It's probably going to be like the TCU Cal game. A lot of mistakes by both quarterbacks. I think it's going to be a low scoring slugfest. I wouldn't watch this one, but I think South Carolina is going to win this one close. Now, Arkansas State versus Nevada. Now, Arkansas State was a major power in the Sun Belt this year, and Nevada's been Nevada. So I think Arkansas State's going to win this one close, just because Arkansas State has proven that they can be a good football team. Now we get to the semifinals of the playoffs. Yeah. Notre Dame versus Clemson. Now, both teams have had fantastic seasons. Clemson and Notre Dame are both undefeated, and they are going to have a great season here. Clemson's going to finish it off. Clemson's going to win this one. But Notre Dame, they should be proud of themselves for going all the way, beating good teams. So, Clemson's going to win this one close, but I think it's going to be a very close game. You should definitely watch it. Now, Oklahoma versus Alabama. Now, some people were debating, should Oklahoma be in it instead of Ohio State? Now, I think Ohio State should have made it in instead of Oklahoma, because I think Ohio State is a better team overall because of they have a good offense and they have a good defense instead of Oklahoma, who has a fantastic offense, but their defense just looks like they're a whole bunch of bananas out there trying to play football. But I think Jalen Hurts is going to put up a whole bunch of points against them. I think Alabama should start Jalen Hurts over Tua. Number one, Tua is not 100%. Two, Jalen Hurts just played better than Tua in the championship game. So I think they should start Jalen Hurts in this game. I hope Jalen Hurts wins, actually, because Jalen Hurts waited an entire season, didn't transfer, and got his chance, and I hope he gets the start and wins this bowl game. No, I think Alabama's going to win it close. I think Kyler Murray can put some numbers up. I think Alabama's defense is solid, and you can't put up a lot against them, but Oklahoma's defense is not spectacular. So I think Alabama's going to win this one close. Now we get on to Monday. This is New Year's Eve. So Cincinnati versus Virginia Tech. My uncle's a Virginia Tech fan. I'm a Virginia Tech fan. And I might go to the Virginia Tech game this weekend. On Monday. But Virginia Tech's not looked good this year, especially with Josh Jackson as their quarterback. Georgia Tech beat them without having a single passing yard, so that's not okay. Cincinnati's going to win it in a blowout. I just don't see anything else happening. I hope Virginia Tech wins, but I don't see it happening. In the Sun Bowl, Stanford versus Pitt. Now, Pitt had a spectacular season so far. They didn't expect to be this good after not being bowl eligible last year. They were in the ACC championship game. Now, Stanford had a pretty bad season compared to almost being a playoff team last year. They were very bad. Bryce Love got injured, and then everything kind of went downhill from there. They were like the Jacksonville Jaguars of the NFL. Leonard Fournette got hurt. Not this one bad. Stanford versus Pitt. I think Pitt's going to win this one close. Pitt is a run some more team. They don't have a great quarterback, but they think they can win this game. Neither does Stanford. Stanford's just going to run it with Bryce Love every down. But I think Pitt's going to be able to win it because the ACC actually has defense compared to the Pac-12. Now, Michigan State versus Oregon. I think it's going to be close. Michigan State has not been a fantastic team this year, but they beat Penn State. They made a close game with Ohio State. They almost lost to Rutgers in the last season. That was not okay, but Michigan State's going to win this one close versus Oregon. Oregon it wasn't very good this year. I don't think so. So, Missouri versus Oklahoma State. Now, both teams have always been mediocre. They're normally not fantastic. They're normally mediocre. They're bowl eligible almost every year, but they're mediocre. So I think Mizzou is going to win this one close. Well, not close. It's going to be a blowout. Oklahoma State's not that good this year. They lost to TCU, for goodness sake. We all saw how good they were in their bowl game yesterday. So, Northwestern versus Utah. Northwestern, Utah. Both teams that made it to their championship game but could not pull it out in the end. Utah had a close comeback, almost beat Washington, but a 10-3 score, that was amazing. It was terrible. If you watched that game, that was just sadness right there. I would rather watch the MAC championship game. That was closer. Northwestern was blown out by Ohio State. I think both these teams are not very good in the air, but fantastic on the ground. Clayton Thorson is probably a better quarterback than Utah's quarterback. I don't even know who he is. He's not very good at all. Northwestern's going to win this one. It's going to be close because both defenses are really, really good. But I think Northwestern's going to pull it out in the end. Now, NC State versus Texas A&M. If you've seen NC State in the past, Ryan Finley's a great quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be playing or not in this Texas A&M bowl game. But I think NC State's going to be able to pull it out in the end. Almost we're a playoff team this year. But, unfortunately, thanks to some close losses, they were not a playoff team. Other than that blowout loss to Clemson, they had a close loss to Syracuse and a close loss to Wake Forest. So, then we're going to get to the New Year's 6 bowls. Actually, there's just 5, but the New Year's Day bowls, it's exciting right now. Mississippi State versus Iowa. Now, Iowa had a okay season. They were, if it wasn't for the Penn State loss and then a loss after that, which was just demoralizing, they might have been a playoff team this year if they could beat Ohio State in the championship game. But, unfortunately, Iowa lost some close games, and they could not have the comeback that they expected. Mississippi State actually had a pretty good year. They just got Joe Moorhead, which just proves you how good Penn State is. Penn State's offensive coordinator, Joe Moorhead, went to Mississippi State last year to become their head coach, and they had actually a pretty good season last year. They actually kept it close with Alabama. Toughest game Alabama played other than Georgia in the championship game. Closer than LSU. So I think Iowa's going to be able to pull it out in the end, but it is going to be a close game. Now, Kentucky versus Penn State. I don't think this is even a question. Kentucky has just been run some more. And Penn State's defense is good enough to stop the run. They just are. Billy Snell's not going to be able to run all over him. I mean, we saw it with Jonathan Taylor. We stopped him. Kentucky has no passing game. So they just need to stop the run, and then they'll be fine. Penn State's going to win this in blowout. Trace McSorley's going to put up some amazing points. Even those receivers just drop every ball that goes to their hands. But they're going to win it in a blowout. Now, LSU versus UCF. Now, some people have been like, UCF deserves to be in the championship game, which I agree with. They are a good football team, but I don't think they're good enough to make it to the championship game. I think the only way that UCF ever makes it to a championship game is if they expand it to 8 teams that can get in. Then UCF can sneak in there and maybe pull off some upsets. But LSU was really good this year, but I think UCF is good enough to win this game close. Now, the question is, can they win without Mackenzie Milton? Because we saw in their championship game, they came back from the deficit against Memphis, but can they do that against a good LSU defense is the question. So, last 2 games, the Rose Bowl, Washington versus Ohio State. Now, Ohio State was a fantastic team this year. Good on defense, good on offense. The only loss was that one loss to Purdue. Again, they might have made the championship, the playoffs, if they hadn't lost to Purdue. They probably would have made it over Oklahoma. But Oklahoma made it instead of them. A lot of you people wondering what if Oklahoma loses to Alabama in the first round. So, Washington versus Ohio State. Ohio State's a way better team than Washington, in my opinion. Ohio State's going to win this in blowout. Now, the last game of the bowl games, except for the championship, is going to be Texas versus Georgia. Very, very, very close football game. Georgia is going to win it close, but the Texas Longhorns have had a fantastic season. I hope they do well next year. If they can make some noise in the Big 12, I'd be happy. Georgia also had a fantastic season this year. This is a great bowl matchup, but I think Georgia's going to win this one close. Everybody, thanks. If you could go over to my other channel, Eli Smith, just check out the videos on there. It was my Eagle project. I think it's very good. Just check them out. Smash the like and subscribe button, and see you guys in a few days. Bye.